The Quest for Extraterrestrial Intelligence in 1977. Wow! The signal was received by the Big Ear radio telescope from the constellation Sagittarius. Although its origin remains obscure to this day, it is considered among the strangest signals received and is the one most likely to be transmitted by extraterrestrial intelligent beings. With the launch of the Kepler satellite in 2009, thousands of Earth-like planets where life could be possible were found, revolutionizing the search for intelligent extraterrestrial life. Some scientists believe there is a chance of finding extraterrestrial intelligence in the next few decades or even the next 20 years. Today we know that planets are as common as cheap hotels, and that there are trillions of planets in our own galaxy alone. The search for intelligent life can be done by following signals from any extraterrestrial civilization or by sending our own messages into space that may one day be received by one of these civilizations. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence, SETI, is based on the use of radio telescopes that receive radio waves. The SETI Institute is the main Earth institution dedicated to the pursuit of extraterrestrial intelligence. Its search relies on finding a signal located at one point on the radio dial. Just as when listening to the radio in your car, the Quest for Extraterrestrial Intelligence SETI, or the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, is a scientific effort to detect intelligent life beyond Earth. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence began in the early 1960s. And since then there have been various projects and missions dedicated to this search. How does SETI work? SETI involves searching for signals produced by a transmitter somewhere in space. These signals are not inherently static like quasars or galaxies, but are at a point on the dial. To be considered a valid candidate for SETI researchers, the source of the signal must be in the sky. SETI projects and innovations. One of the most important SETI projects is the Allen Telescope Array, which started in 2007. It has 42 telescopes and the goal is to increase it to 350. The Allen project aims to be the most powerful tool for searching signals from other telescopes. Civilizations in our galaxy. Another famous SETI project is SETI at Home, launched in 1999. It uses an army of millions of amateur internet users to analyze data from the Arecibo radio telescope in Puerto Rico. More than 5 million people worldwide participated in this project. The Kepler mission is a space-based telescope launched in 2009 to search for potentially habitable planets. Kepler has found thousands of planets or planetary candidates and can tell us which stars have planets around them and which of these stars are Earth-like. Drake equation. The Drake equation is a way to estimate the number of potentially communicating civilizations in the Milky Way. It looks at 7 independent factors and tries to put a number on each. The biggest unknown in the Drake equation is the longevity factor, or how long the transmitters keep working. While these projects and innovations are significant advances in the search for intelligent life, the biggest unknown is whether we will survive as a technologically adolescent civilization long enough to come into contact with extraterrestrial life. The future of SETI. With the further development of radio telescope technology, some scientists believe that evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence will be found in the next few decades. As SETI continues to grow and evolve, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence remains one of the most exciting and intriguing scientific pursuits today. The century of biology and the search for extraterrestrial life. While the 20th century was the century of physics, the 21st century is shaping up to be the century of biology. This is especially true when it comes to the search for extraterrestrial life, which may provide evidence of a different biochemistry than we know. But with the prospect of an imminent discovery, a controversial question arises: what will be the first contact with an extraterrestrial species? How should we introduce ourselves and what message should we send? There are many difficult questions to consider, such as who should speak for the world and in what language. Writing a message that can be understood by aliens will be one of the greatest intellectual challenges of our time. We may need to find a language that any scientist dealing with SETI, search for extraterrestrial intelligence, anywhere in the galaxy will understand. This is called active SETI, or sending messages to extraterrestrial intelligence. The difficulty of writing a message for aliens, creating a message that can be It will be extremely difficult to be understood by aliens, and speech may be impossible. The content of the message, how it should be sent, what it should say, what our efficient coding schemes are, and how to provide an education so that they can understand what the scheme is, are important issues. One suggestion is to post as much information online as they can find, such as hieroglyphs, images, videos, sounds and texts. Several messages have been sent into space, and we hope to one day receive an answer. Messages sent into space. The first message was attached to the Pioneer 10 space probe launched by NASA in 1972. It was a gold anodized aluminum plate designed by astronomers Carl Sagan and Francis Drake, with illustrations and a diagram of two human figures, one feminine and one masculine. Our solar system's Pioneer 11 had a similar plate. The next message, sent in 1974, was Dr. It was designed by Frank Drake and transmitted by the Arecibo radio telescope in Puerto Rico. It was a very simple message that offered a mathematical and scientific summary of life on Earth. Launched in 1977, Voices of the World was the most detailed and comprehensive message ever recorded on gold records affixed to the Voyager spacecraft. What will extraterrestrial life be like? One of the best things about finding life that has nothing to do with us is that it helps us understand how biology might be different. Life elsewhere may have evolved to fit perfectly into its environment, and if environments are similar to ours, there can be many similarities. But if the environments are extremely different, this is unthinkable. It is also possible that the entities we come into contact with are not biological entities. They can be machines or a collective consciousness. And we may need to find a way to communicate with them using basic mathematical principles. Active SETI discussion. Active SETI is a controversial topic, and some scientists warn against transmitting messages to extraterrestrial intelligence until they know their intentions towards us. However, it may be too late to conceal our existence, because any civilization capable of traveling between the stars could already receive our radio and TV signals. In any case, first contact may soon be possible. And it is also possible that some civilizations have already listened to our messages. However, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence is not much different from the search for our own future. And we must continue to explore the universe with caution and curiosity. Fermi paradox. Are we alone in the universe? The Fermi paradox, named after the physicist Enrico Fermi, questions the existence of extraterrestrial life and why we have never seen any evidence for it. Fermi believed that advanced civilizations developed technology that would inevitably destroy them, leading to a tragic end for humanity. However, there are many possible solutions to the paradox, including the idea that they exist but either don't communicate with us or have already destroyed themselves. Possible solutions to the Fermi paradox. They exist, but they don't communicate with us. They exist and they communicate, but we cannot hear them. They exist and they were here, but we weren't. They exist, but most people don't know yet. They destroyed or destroyed themselves. One explanation for the lack of evidence of extraterrestrial life is that Traveling between stars is difficult, and they may not find us interesting or worth interacting with. Another possibility is that they have colonized other parts of the galaxy, but we cannot see it because it is not nearby or in the open. WOW signal. In 1977, a radio signal known as the WOW signal was detected at Ohio State University's Big Ear radio telescope. The signal was so intense and unusual that the technician who saw it wrote "wow" in the margin. Although astronomers searched for the signal again, it was never copied and its source is still being investigated. Other signals such as SHGB02 plus 14A and a strange signal found near Gliese 581, the first habitable planet, have been discovered. But none have been confirmed as evidence of extraterrestrial life. The quest for extraterrestrial intelligence, SETI, requires a large amount of confirmation and recheck before any announcement is made. What if we find evidence? If we do find evidence of extraterrestrial life, it may not have a significant impact on our daily lives, but it would be a great discovery for humanity. The Royal Society held a conference on the detection of extraterrestrial life in 2010, and some scientists believe that evidence of its existence may be found within the next 20 years. Consequences for Science and Society. The conference's introduction highlighted the possibility that astronomers will now be able to detect planets where life may exist. Of detecting extraterrestrial life would fundamentally affect how humanity understands itself. The living generation could see the signature of extraterrestrial life being detected. And we need to be prepared for the consequences. If we receive a message and can understand it, it could be transformative, similar to giving Neanderthals the keys to a library. This discovery would change everything for humanity. And there is potential for global input in a response protocol called the Declaration of Principles Concerning Activities Following the Detection of Extraterrestrial Intelligence. Most scientists agree that detecting another civilization would transform our society, science, technology, and religion. It would be a chance to see if our ways of knowing are tapping into something that goes beyond Earth or are uniquely ours. The discovery would be on the same level as those of Copernicus and Darwin. But it will take decades for people to get used to the idea that we are not alone in the universe. First contact with an extraterrestrial civilization would likely happen when the Allen Telescope Array detects a message that confirms the existence of extraterrestrial intelligent life, or when someone connected to the SETI at Home project announces that their computer has decoded signals from the Arecibo telescope. Our first contact will be a unique conversation, and it could take decades or centuries before our answer gets to them, given the vast distances of the universe. If we find another civilization, we know it's possible to grow old and be wise enough to manage our population and planet. It would motivate us to find solutions to our problems today, and it could be a turning point in the life of the human species.